Hi, I'm Rob Schwant, and this is my capstone project for my master's program in digital teaching and learning as a part of my Education 526 class with Dr. Joanne Gilbreth. This report will cover why I chose this program, some of the highlights of the program and classes that I took, as well as an action research plan that I did as a part of it, as well as a unit plan that I designed with all the technological components in mind. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Why did I choose to come to this school, Azusa Pacific, where everything from A to Z in the USA is located? Well, I actually received my bachelor's degree from APU. I got a bachelor's in communication studies with a minor in leadership. And I always said to myself, after I was done fulfilling my communication dreams of being a broadcaster, I would be a teacher. However, that decision came much more quickly than I imagined. And of course, God's plans are not mine. And He had a higher purpose for me. So I decided to get into teaching, and APU was my number one choice of where to go to school. And APU not only had teaching, but digital teaching and learning, which I'm a pretty tech-savvy kind of guy. I pride myself on having all the gadgets first to hand, making sure that I'm the first early adapter, as they say. And so I love to get my hands on technology and anything new and anything that helps people understand their world better. I love those kind of things. So I thought digital teaching and technology all coming together would be an awesome program for me to be in. Another reason I came to APU for the program is because many of my high school teachers, mentors, as well as other teachers I would conversate with, all basically knew about APU and how good the program was, how flexible it was, and how simple it was to be on track to get that credential and degree. So I had a great reputation amongst other people, and so I said it's probably a good program for me to be a part of. And then going along with that, there's a lot of the satellite campuses. I'm from the Inland Empire, so I can choose to take classes there. And then also, I live closer to Azusa, and I could be there to take classes on campus, as well as the ease of scheduling. It's easy. It's one night a week, maybe 2 nights a week, and that plays nicely with my schedule, so I can have a full-time job, but also get that education. All right, so what are some of the highlights of my experience? Well, one of the big things, the one that I will take away and use forever, is the easy website design through Google Sites. I learned that in Education 515 with Tim McKean. It was a fantastic, I've always been intimidated by building websites. I knew that they existed. I kind of messed around with them before, but Tim really broke it down in a way that it was easy for me to understand. I can be a lot more creative now because he taught me the basics of what to do, and now I can manipulate those sites to make it look really professional. And not only that, user-friendly so they can navigate to the places they want to go. And actually, as of now, because I am teaching a math class, I use Google Sites to give my students their homework assignments, any upcoming test dates, as well as posting videos of my lessons that I teach in class so that students can re-watch it to learn new content. Or if you were absent that day, you can just go to my website and get the lesson so you never have to be a step behind. So that's really great. Website design was fantastic. Something else that I thought was really functional is all the things I could do with Microsoft Excel and Word. I learned that in Education 512 with Christy Hernandez. Something that I really took out of that was using Microsoft Excel. All the different basic functions like averages and sums through her bowling project that we did really helped me out a lot. And I'm actually using that now as a golf coach for my school. And I input all the players' scores from the round, and it gives me an average of their scores. And it's just really convenient so that I can tell them right off the bat, I know exactly what their average is and goals that we can set as players on my team. So that's something I really learned and I really enjoyed. And then some supplementary things. I learned a lot of different online audio and video editors and tools from Education 514 and Bill Selleck. What a wealth of resources that guy is. He's so great, just knowing all the different things, and he also leads and helps run a EdTech conference that I wasn't able to go to this year, but I definitely signed up for next year. And he's been able to introduce me to different tools and applications that will help me with my audio and video, talent. And he offered a lot of different resources for me to use. So thank you so much to Bill for that. All right, moving on. So I did an action research project as a part of my capstone project. In a nutshell, My actual research project was based on the technology I have inside of my classroom. I came here as a teacher at my new school, Riverside Christian High School, and I walked into my classroom and noticed I had a smartboard. I know what they are, I'd seen them before in different forums and blogs, but I never actually knew what they did. And one of my first days on the job, I asked my principal, how did I use this? And he had no idea. And I asked other teachers around. They kind of had some basic things, but really none of them had like a way of teaching me or a way of like going through the program and showing me all the different tools I could use. So my research was all about how can I find free or low-cost ways to learn how to use a smartboard. So my implementation, I just went to the online. Google's such an amazing resource. Went to Bing, YouTube, EdTech forums, all looking for, again, a free or low-cost way to learn how to use that smartboard. So as I was researching, from the get-go, I really didn't get a definite answer. And the other troubling thing about all the research I was doing is that the smartboard apparently has been designed for elementary school-age children. And not that that's bad, but I am an advanced math high school teacher. So there's a lot of different things that sometimes you can't get rid of the graphing calculator. But at the same time, it would be nice if the students can visually see what happens with graphs, the way that variables are manipulated, even doing derivatives and antiderivatives. It would be great if students can see a visual picture before they actually go home and try it themselves. So I didn't know if any of those tools existed. I couldn't find any videos. Again, I could find basic math videos, but I couldn't find any advanced math videos where I can use any tools or apps within the smartboard technology. However, through a forum that I found online, I found a local math teacher here in Riverside, California, who uses the smartboard, and he said he would love to teach anyone who had any questions. So I emailed him, he emailed me back, and we were able to meet up, and we spent an hour together. He taught me some of the basic functions. He actually demoed a trigonometry lesson in front of me, showing me how he teaches students about Pythagorean theorem, right triangles, and how he's able to manipulate angles, and again, just using the touch of his finger to show students how moving one variable can change the entire equation. So I was able to see some of those basic functions, and he taught me and helped me write a quick start guide for any teacher who wanted to learn how to use the smartboard or how to get started regardless of the subject matter. But selfishly for me, he taught me some of the basic tools that were located within the smartboard technology, such as a graphing calculator, which is going to be super helpful so I can plug in the numbers with the students and show them exactly what their calculator should look like when they're looking at graphs. So the results of the project, huge success. Got the basic functions and tools of the program, and was able to write a quick start guide to teach other teachers, which I will be doing this summer. And so my conclusion is that it was a great start to get into the technology of the smartboard, but I know there's so much more to discover that will come with time and a little bit more investigation on my part. All right, and the final piece of this Capstone project is a portfolio introduction. I spent 3 weeks on water scarcity in the world, so kind of a social action plan, if you will. The basic premise and the math and the standards behind it, students will learn basic math concepts such as proportions, percentages, and ratios. And the other second goal of this project is that they will integrate technology to cause lasting change in personal habits and ethics. So when they're making decisions on where to donate, or they're thinking about how technology can help me change my life, this is an actual life change that students will make because of the research they will do and the information I will be presenting to them. And the reason why I'm doing this unit is because this is an issue that's not widely known. And there is something students can do to help, whether that be donating money, whether that be raise awareness, or actually raise money to go on a trip to make a fresh water well for some of these countries. So that's my project, and in a nutshell, here's a quick video to kind of explain the premise and different things students will be doing through the project. In the time it just took to launch that video, 3 children have died across the world because they do not have access to clean drinking water. Every year, over 2 million people in developing countries die simply because they don't get clean water. 90% of those deaths are children under the age 18. However, hope is growing to combat this tragedy with many different organizations whose goal is to provide clean water to impoverished people across the world. By just providing clean water, it can reduce water-related deaths in poverty-stricken countries by 21%. Clean water, given proper sanitation, can reduce deaths by 37.5%. And just being able to have fresh water to wash their hands can reduce death by 50%. Here in America, we seem to have an abundance of clean drinking water and don't have to worry about running dry, right? Who knows what will happen in the future here with that? But there are many ways right now we can begin to rethink and conserve the way we use fresh water in our lives and be good stewards with what we've been given. My class will spend a week to learn about the plight of many who deal with not having clean drinking water, what they can do to help these people across the world, ideas on how they conserve water in their own lives, and again finding practical ways to begin to conserve water, one of our most precious resources. The title of this lesson is Water Wise, Learning to Conserve. It is intended for high school students, grades 9 through 12. I'll be teaching this in a math classroom, and the time frame should be anywhere between a week and 2 weeks long. Students will be assessed by the teacher on 3 different levels throughout this unit: by academic standards, cognition, through Bloom's taxonomy, and the implementation of technology and multiple intelligences throughout the unit. The objectives of this unit will be: students will identify how to use water in their own lives by maintaining a water blog and journaling their typical uses of water, surprising discoveries about how they're being wasteful, and recommendations on how to conserve. Students will discuss how they can conserve water in their lives through MindMeister, Twitter, and other social media outlets to get ideas from other classmates. Students will present research with PowerPoint, Prezi, or other presentation software on a country where water is scarce or unsanitary. Students will report on individual water use by maintaining a water blog and offering suggestions on how to begin to conserve water in their everyday lives. Students will organize a recycling drive on campus through various social networks to raise money to donate to a charity of their choosing that helps developing countries get clean water. And finally, students will conclude their research by discussing as a class, both face-to-face and through online, about how they can conserve water on a daily basis. Unit plan activities. Students will be introduced to the topic by walking into the classroom and seeing different pictures and stories about children, families, and entire people groups who live with or have died because of not having clean drinking water, and the lengths they have to go through to get clean drinking water. Students will reflect and remember on what they've seen and read in class on their water blogs. This activity through the water blogs is geared towards learners with visual intelligence, logical intelligence, kinesthetic intelligence, interpersonal intelligence, intrapersonal intelligence, and naturalist intelligence. Students will then be shown a map of the world displaying which countries have clean drinking water and which countries do not. Students will then split up into groups of between 2 and 4 and decide to do a profile presentation with PowerPoint, Prezi, or another presentation software on one of the countries that does not have clean drinking water. These presentations will take place starting in the middle of the unit and will continue throughout until the end of the unit. The presentation is appealing to the visual, logical, natural, spatial, interpersonal, and existential intelligences. Students will organize and initiate a recycling drive on campus to raise money to donate to a non-profit organization like UNICEF or Water for Life to spread awareness about this worldwide issue. Students will collect the items, sort and count the items in class, and make predictions on how much money we'll be able to make at the end of the unit. This activity is engaged for the visual, logical, natural, spatial, interpersonal, and kinesthetic learners. Students will record themselves through a video camera or through an audio microphone during a conversation they will have in their groups or other friends about how they use water in their own lives and how they can begin to conserve. Students will use examples and observations made from their water blogs to aid their discussion. The goal of the discussion is to get new ideas, create accountability, and be encouraged to conserve water. Thank you so much for watching my presentation. If you have any questions or want to know more about my portfolio plan, my action research, or anything about the Azusa Pacific University Digital Teaching and Learning Master's Program, feel free to contact me at any time. My email address is robschwandt, ROBSCHWANDT, @me.com. You can also reach me at my Google Voice number, which is 323-680-4762. Thank you so much.